Welcome back to another episode of All Things Everything, presented by Gulf Coast Smoke. Last time I said created, I don't know why I did that, but it's presented. I mess up, even players mess up too, you know. This is episode 79 or 8. This is episode 78 or 79. It'll be in the title. You know, it's been a long week. It's been a long week, but wait, did I finish that off?
I usually say, and I am Sabrina. That's the only other thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'll start it off by saying, how has your week been? Or maybe the past couple weeks, because it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just not, I don't even want to say it's not been the greatest, but I guess it's just not been the greatest. Everything's okay, right? It's just work's been crazy. Nonstop. Yeah, I mean, we work till 10 p.m. the other day, and then, 8:30 the other day. It's just, I mean, long days, 14, 15-hour days, and we just got a lot going on, but it kind of is what it is. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to say anything's bad. It's just been a lot. And unfortunately, I will say this, it has taken away a little bit from this, right? From what we feel we need to do. And it's really, really hard, right? Because the truth is, of course, this is very important to us, right? We've built a whole life around this. We've poured a lot of time and effort, blood, sweat, and tears into this. But at the same time, it's not quite putting food on the table and paying the bills and doing a lot of the other stuff that we need it to do. I mean, it technically is, or it technically could, but it's just, there's a lot going on right now, right? We're really, really close to launching this new product. I'm talking really, really close. As of today, which is Wednesday the 29th, we are just waiting on labels to arrive. Once those labels arrive, it is hitting, once the labels arrive, of course, they've got to cook everything, and then they cook it, and they're going to ship it on over, and then from there, then it's our job to get it ready to get to you guys. So we do have a little bit of work to do, but it is as close as it's ever been. And, kind of to just finish up my piece earlier, my job is very, very important to me, right? I mean, it literally provides money for us to do things like this, for us to have a very comfortable life. And, we're very, very, I'm happy and I'm proud of the job that I have. And so I got to take care of it. It's one of those things where, even the other day, man, when I get home that late, you're just like, gosh, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I mean, I'm good. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't want to, I don't want to have to go back to work at 6 a.m. tomorrow, but I mean, I technically do, right? But, it's just part of it. And work's not always like that. So when it is like that, we kind of sort of just have to deal with it. We have to get through it. But, my boss, Timmy, is really, really, overall, he's very good to us. And he's, he makes it be known like, hey, thank you for doing this. Thank you for staying late. So I can't complain too much, even though, of course, I want to be at the house grilling or shooting videos or creating a lot of content, because I feel like we have really been hammering it for a while. And this has kind of unfortunately slowed us down a little bit. I had to do a couple of reposts. We did just post a video about the Royal Oak Invitational, which we'll get into in a minute. But yeah, it's not been the greatest, but I don't want that to sound like, oh my gosh, it's, he's sad or mad or anything like that. No, it's just, there's just been a lot going on. And we've unfortunately not had as much time as we wanted to kind of handle things on the business side. And so, a lot of the nights I've been coming home, eating, showering, going to bed, waking up and going back to work. So that should change hopefully very, very soon. We are going to be able to have most of Friday off, and then we'll do some stuff there. That's also Halloween, so we'll spend some time with the kiddos. Saturday and Sunday, we're gonna have to hit it pretty hard. Just is what it is. So we got to get ready for the turkey breasts coming up in November. We're gonna start strong. We're gonna finish strong. Yes, we're gonna repost some stuff because our turkey breast videos. The cool thing about social media in general is I've had some people, they'll comment or they'll message, man, that's a repost. That's a repost. Yes, it is, but we've also got a lot more followers than we had in the past. So it gives opportunity for new followers to see content maybe they never have seen, right? So that's the way I always look at it, right? Yes, I'm going to repost things that did well because we have new people engaging with the content and hopefully they resonate with it as well. So it's just one of those things. It's a strategy, right? Like, yes, this performed well in the past. We've got more audience now. Let's see if it still performs well or, kind of does well again.
Well, not only that, we got Thanksgiving coming up, so we want to show as much turkey that we've done or that's new as we can, because that's the hot topic
for
the month of November.
Yeah, so we are going to be doing a lot of new recipes, but we will recycle some old ones, some that you've already seen, some that, you may have missed in the past, whatever, but they'll all be there for sure. And it's going to be a good one, or it'll be good. So yeah, but, to kind of round it out, obviously, work's been busy. I've already said that, but besides that, everything is pretty good. Really, really appreciate everybody that continues to place orders because we still stay pretty busy with the orders, and I'm just very, very grateful that we've built these products that you guys really, really trust and are proud to use. I had Hunt Blackledge. He's actually on our team right now. He messaged me today. He texted me today, and he said, "Hey, just so you know, our 2025 season is over. Really appreciate you for, the opportunity this year. The products speak for themselves." I won't say his whole text message, right? It's a personal thing, but the products speak for themselves. That sticks out because people know that we are going to do our best to just put out quality, and that's huge to us, right? So this glaze, you guys had to have seen it. I'm in there literally cooking in my kitchen like a fool, making it smell like vinegar. And my kids are like, "That's disgusting. I don't like that smell," because there's a small amount of vinegar in the actual sauce. But when you cook it like that, it makes the whole house smell like it.
Right.
Even the small amounts that we were doing. And, it's just one of those things where it is what it is. We had to test it. We had to try. We had to figure everything out. And so we pride ourselves on those things, right? So we're going to continue to try and push the envelope, and we're going to have this product, and we're going to see where this product can take us. We're going to see how we can market this product and how many videos we can show you guys that we do, different things with this product. And we're very, very excited to bring it to you guys. So I hope you guys are excited to try it. There's a lot of great products out there in the world, and I think you should try them all if you can. Obviously, that's not literally possible, but try as many as you can. Maybe someone's flavor stacks very, very well with ours. You want to use some Rio Valley meats with Gulf Coast smoke, and then a chicken fried barbecue wrap, and an LC barbecue injection, and whatever glaze, a Gulf Coast smoke glaze, a Rio Valley meat sauce. There's so many things you can do in barbecue, and I think that there's so many different ways that you can make it taste good. It doesn't have to be just our products. I would love if it was, for sure. Who wouldn't, right? But I understand how it goes. So really, really appreciate you guys for continuing to purchase and continuing to trust us for sure. We'll stop it there. We'll stop that part of the podcast there. What about you? How's everything been for you?
Everything's been good. I feel like, we've done a lot of traveling. So I know we've missed a video date here and there, but I think at least once every week we've either had a video and no podcast or a podcast and no video. So we're still consistently trying to, which in the last week, we actually tried to post our podcast while we were on the go in Georgia, but
didn't work out.
Hotel upload speeds are not very good. So we just,
and speaking of upload speeds, we got Starlink at the house now too. So we have fiber internet for our primary, and I've set up Starlink as our backup. So if everything goes down, we'll have the Starlink kick in, and we won't miss a beat. The upload speeds are not going to be as high as our gig that we have right now, which is 1,000 megabits per second, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But it just kind of is what it is. We have something that is going to keep us online because our business is quite literally an e-commerce business that needs the internet to run. So it got to the point where we're like, okay, we're tired of these outages. I called in and I was talking to the people that are our service provider, and I was like, hey, look, check the logs. I haven't called. I don't complain. I don't do anything, but this is getting very ridiculous. So is there something that we can do to make this work better? Just whatever. And they were really, really helpful on the phone, honestly. Cut our bill over half. And so we're gonna stick it out with them because when it works very well. But we do have that Starlink as a backup. So yeah, we did try the podcast though on the road, and it just unfortunately it didn't work. So the week of the Royal Oak Invitational, that's when it was supposed to drop, and it just unfortunately it just didn't happen. Also, when you have a lot of things going on, we actually had started traveling on Thursday, and then so it was a very, very, very busy weekend that weekend.
Yeah.
So we traveled 15 hours to Royal Oak Invitational in Roswell, Georgia. I guess we'll get into that now.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we left on Thursday morning, really early, 6 a.m., and we drove all day to get, as ahead as we could. So that was on Thursday. We stayed in a hotel Thursday night. Friday, we showed up. We got to the hotel. We weren't ready to check in. So we said, okay. We went straight to the Royal Oak Invitational, which if you guys haven't watched that video, please go watch it. I actually think it might be one of my favorite videos that we've ever made. And the reason I say that is not because, it's a great recipe that has the potential to make a bajillion views, or it's a viral recipe where I did TikTok tacos. No, it's nothing like that, but it's just a part of the journey, right? It's really, really special for me to be able to, and we talk about this like with our competition videos, right?
Yeah.
We can look back and we can say, oh man, that weekend we were in Dallas. I remember, for example, that weekend in Dallas, I remember we woke up, we had the beautiful background. I took that picture of the AT&T Stadium in the background. We hit a first place brisket at the first and only AT&T Stadium barbecue competition ever. There may never be another one. We have the award right there. And we didn't win it. That shout out to Phil Breeden for that, and shout out to Bill Purvis for getting reserve. But we have our own little piece of history there, and we can go back and look on that day. And I also remember talking to Carlos that morning, about he was talking to me about the number 666 and how he hates that number because of course that correlates a little bit with the devil. And I told him, man, that number don't bother me. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, it don't bother me because all that tells me is the devil's always near, but I'm always one step ahead. Or if I see 665, I say, man, the devil's right behind me. So, something's going to come up to where the devil's going to be tempting me. But if I see 667, man, I'm one step ahead. It's just those numbers remind me of something, right? They don't scare me. The thought is in my brain. And then for me, it keeps my faith stronger, right? We talk about faith. We were talking about faith the other day. It's blind, right? It's like something that you can't physically see all the time, but you just have to be strong with it. Blind faith is the strongest faith. And that's exactly what we talked about that morning. And just watching a video literally brings you back to that moment.
Right.
Right. And so those things are something that, again, we will be able to for the rest of our lives, or at least I will. You have your different reason, right? But my reason, that's what I look back on Dallas. For example, you always mention the Kingsville one, right? Because
for sure.
It was just so, I fell short as a dad, right? Like, and it's funny, but like, I forgot twice to take my son up with me to go get a award. Right. And it is funny. And I of course I felt bad, and it's funny, but then I finally picked him up for the third one. And everyone's like, yay.
Everybody's cheering.
Everyone's cheering. And it's like, of course I didn't mean to leave my son behind. When you're in a contest like that and you're hearing your name called and you're going to get an award, like you're kind of laser focused. You're kind of like, okay, I got this call. Maybe I could still win if we hit a first place brisket. It's just your brain's everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like I'm trying to ditch my son or anything like that. And, it's just a thing, right? So you have your own memories that are tied to videos. With this Royal Oak video, it was just like, how have we come this far in this barbecue life where we started just for fun? Like, how did we come this far to where we are in Roswell, Georgia, being shuttled around by Mercedes Sprinter vans to and from the Royal Oak Invitational with 35 of the best teams in the world, and we're at this beautiful facility. We're being treated like kings and queens. Our families are welcome. We have a great charcoal sponsor. We've met great people. We see friends there. We got to hang out with Malcolm and Rochelle for a little bit. Just two of my genuinely favorite people I've ever met through barbecue, and it has nothing to do with who they are, but it has everything to do with who they are. You know, if you guys don't understand what I mean by that, man, just think about it for a minute. And just the fact that we as a family experience that together, it's insane to me. Like we were talking about this the other day, even on the drive. And I told the kids, I said, hey, you know, I know because we like to drive places. That's just who we are. That's just how we do it. A lot of people are like, gosh, dang, you drove. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just what we do. I don't know. I mean, maybe one of these days I'll be like, screw that. We're flying. But for now, we're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine. We just do our thing. We take our time. We stop. We get candy. We see crazy things. My daughter Piper loves to see the cows. We see cows. You know, it's just there's so much to it. But going and experiencing that is just something that I'll never forget. And watching the video brings me back to the joy, the agony of driving. You know, there's so many things that go into it, right? And then it's just like one of these days, 5 years down the road, I'm going to look back and I'm going to be able to say like, wow, we did that 5 years ago. Look where we're at now.
Yeah, well, and we talked about this the other day with the kids. It's like they might not realize it right now, but they have a unique opportunity where, you know, they get to travel with us wherever. And they've already, you know, our oldest is 9. And think about all the places that we've been so far.
For sure.
The different states that we've been through so far. And, you know, most people go a really long time in their lives, like not even traveling outside of their home state, you know. And so it might not be something they appreciate right now.
Yeah.
But I think they will later on, but the beauty is being able to look back on these videos with them.
For sure.
And they get to remember, oh, we went and got to do that. And as they get older, they kind of, if they see that again, they appreciate it a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
So it's a really unique experience that we get to share as a family. And the wonderful thing about traveling and driving is, you know, Texas is very big, but the majority of Texas looks the same where we're at, you know? So when you go to these other states, it's really, really beautiful. I mean, Georgia was just
tall trees,
so scenic.
Yeah, seriously, super tall, beautiful trees. Dude, seriously, I cannot explain it enough how insane the Royal Oak headquarters, campus, whatever you want to call it, is.
Yeah.
It is truly insane. It is so beautiful. I'm like,
I was shocked. Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked too. And I told Craig, the barbecue ninja, he works for Royal Oak. He is the chief barbecue operator, CBO. I believe that's his title. I'm sorry if I mess that up. But he's, you know, head of marketing, head of a few things over there. And I told him straight up, I said, man, Craig, thank you first and foremost for the invite. Secondly, I had no idea what to expect here. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but this blew my expectations.
For sure.
I didn't, you know, it's kind of like when you talk to, for example, like a coworker, you know, like I talk to coworkers all the time in Houston. Never seen them. Don't know what they look like. And then they come to our site and I'm like, oh, dude, Evan, you look like that. Like
Right.
Like I didn't know Evan looked like that. I thought Evan looked like something else just based off his voice. But it's just one of those things that's really, really crazy to look and see how amazing their facility is. It's truly like, I know it seems like, okay, it can't, but no, it was that incredible. It truly was that incredible and beautiful. And I just can't believe that we were there and we experienced it. I mean, I fully believe in the work that we're doing, and I fully believe that we are doing good things. And I definitely think we deserve to be there, but it's still just crazy because seeing what's going on and just seeing how influential some of these people are in the barbecue world, it's pretty incredible. So I loved watching the video back because, you know, it's just an experience that I can go relive, that I'm very, very, it made me happy. It made me proud. Yeah. You know, being there made me proud. Like, wow, we got invited to this thing. You know, we must be doing at least something right. And, you know, I said it in the very end of the video. If anybody's listening or watching right now, like, you have no idea how much that helps us get to where we want to get. And, you know, I'll say this much, right? It's like, without you guys, we don't grow. Our numbers don't get bigger. Our views don't get bigger. And we don't have the opportunity to grow as a business. We don't sell seasonings. We won't sell glaze. And we're not turning a profit. We're not moving forward as a business. We're not moving forward as, you know, a family. And it's just so much appreciated because now I know that we have to put out good, you know, content and products and all that stuff in order for you guys to follow. And I do think we've done that, but I do think that everybody has a choice, and I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I get it in the comments all the time. It is what it is. I mean, but I appreciate the people that I am your cup of tea, or you like some of the recipes that we've put out, and you've stuck with us. That just means so much to me because, like, I know I talk a lot. You guys see me a lot. You guys hear me a lot. But, like, this is not, I'm telling you, like I mention this all the time. This is not just me, dude. Like, Sabrina puts in so much work, too. So it means a lot to me because she is able to put in on something that's continuously growing and that is hopefully going to take our family to another level. And, we talk about it all the time. Like, we want this to be generational, right? We want to pass down something to my son and daughters and their sons and their daughters and their sons and their daughters. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it sounds crazy for sure, right? Don't get me wrong, but like, I'm crazy then. I'm insane. Call me whatever you put me in an insane asylum if you need to. I fully believe that's going to happen. I fully believe it can happen. And one of the things that, I was talking to somebody today at work, and we were kind of having a little bit of a conversation. Work's just is one of my close coworkers, or I won't say who, but it's just like the things that have happened in our lives, the things that have changed in our lives, and the things that will continue to change in our lives. And it's like, I asked him a question. I'm like, hey, so like, what made you change? What was the reason that made you change from A to B? And he's like, well, these situations made me change, right? So we all have situations that put us in different mindsets, or they bring us different goals, or, whatever. I challenge everybody to think about those things, right? Find your reason and move forward with it. It doesn't matter if you want to be a CEO of a company, or if you want to start a business, or if you want to do this, or if you want to do that. You have no idea. Just this week alone, I talked to three or four different people about how much they wish that they had something else that they could do. Like, they see what we're doing. Man, you're doing so amazing. I appreciate that. Man, you do something too. Find your reason to go out there and bust your ass like I do, like Sabrina does, like my dad does, dude. My dad helps us so much too. Like, seriously, every single order that we have to pick up of our seasonings, my dad picks up for us. Every single order. I think maybe I've gone with him like 3 or 4 times. And I know one time you and I went and picked one up by ourselves because it was like they called and we had like 3 hours to get to Houston and we rushed. Remember that? We had to leave from the title company after signing paperwork. But, we all have situations, we all have circumstances that are going to put us in different mind frames in our lives. Maybe yours hasn't come to, but I just challenge you to be very aware of what's going on around you. And if something comes across and like, okay, this is my reason to make a change. I talk to Sabrina about it all the time. I have that figurative tap on the shoulder. Yours doesn't have to be a spiritual thing. It can just be like, oh man, like, I wanted to do that, and I just saw somebody do that on Facebook, and man, they're making it. They're doing really, really well. But they're in Florida, and I'm in California. Polar opposites. I have an opportunity here. Let me do it. I don't know, maybe a little bit weird of an example there, but I hope you know what I'm trying to get at, right? So don't talk about, man, I really wish I had something. I really wish I could do something. I really wish I could, man, it's one of those things. I feel like at the age that I'm at, I'm 35 years old. I still feel young for sure, but I mean, I am getting older every single day. No more wishing. No more wishing. Like, we just have to do it. There's that cliche, well, a dream's only a dream, you have to work for it, or whatever the cliche is. You know what I'm talking about? But don't wish for these things. If you have a little bit of control over them, man, take control. Don't be afraid to take control of it, because I will tell you that the business itself, I feel, has grown exponentially in 2025, and I truly feel like it's because Sabrina and I sat down, made a decision, and stuck to that decision. We said, hey, we're going to do this, and we have done this exactly. We've done exactly what we said we were going to do in 2025. There's been a little bit of, this and that where we've missed the mark, but man, it's like that other cliche, shoot for the moon, you hit the stars, or shoot for the stars, you hit the moon, whatever the heck it is, right? Like, even if you miss, you're going to miss pretty dang big. You know, our goal was to post a piece of content every single day in 2025. Look back at our Facebook, look back at our Instagram, look back at everything. You're not going to find very many days where we missed content. Just saying, right? We had something we knew we wanted to do and we needed to do in order to keep growing, and we're doing it. And just like the November thing, 1 turkey breast every single day for all of November. We're not going to miss unless something major happens, but if it does, even if something major happens and we miss, man, we're not going to miss by much because we're just that dedicated to doing it. So look for your sign, take control, and do whatever you want to do. I know it sounds so friggin' cliche, but it's like, dude, we are not going to be here one day. Literally, every single one of us, we are not going to be here. Listen to that again. We are not going to be here. We're going to be gone. We're going to be 6 feet under, right? Like, no more opportunity to make instant, what's the word I'm looking for? Impact on the world. None. It's going to happen. We will lose our lives. It's going to happen. Who cares what everybody else thinks? Who cares if you look dumb? Who cares if you fail? Man, you have to try. Don't put your family in financial, in a financial conundrum or whatever, but like, dude, we are not going to be here one day. Who cares? Do something great. Do whatever the hell you want to do. If it makes you happy, it makes you happy, and do it. End of story. I know it's easier said than done, but I promise you one thing. If you just start and don't stop, you cannot fail. I promise. All right. I'm done. I don't know where that came from. Maybe it's because, just we haven't had a podcast what feels like a couple weeks, and I just feel like, with things going on at work and my passion for this and how I do feel like I want this to work for us so badly, these passionate moments, I just can't hold them back, and I feel like this is the best time to talk about it. It's with you, right? But people are listening, hopefully.
Yeah.
But, back to the event, what did you think about the Royal Oak Invitational as a whole and the trip as a whole? How was it for you, from your point of view?
Right. Well, to piggyback off of what you're just saying, right? When you go to the Royal Oak headquarters and you see what it looks like, it almost seems like, because I guarantee that's a, multi-million-dollar complex. So it's like, on one end, you would think like, dang, how is it even possible? It kind of the same thing as going and seeing like Malcolm Rochelle's smokehouse. It's like, dang, how do you get to that point? How is that possible? But the reality is, these people are doing it, and it is possible. So it's really cool to see the whole thing they've got going on. When you enter in these gates, there's this really big lake. Mm-hmm. They have, the main building where all the offices are. They've got this big pavilion, all these little walkways, beautiful trees, right? It's just really, really beautiful to see. So, upon coming in, we're like pretty shocked by how it looks, right? And so we're taking a walk around. They have the pavilion open. Malcolm's doing a drink demo, which was really cool. They had a bounce house for the kid. This is Friday, by the way. And then they also had a People's Choice steak competition going on up in the parking lot. So let's kind of talk about maybe some of the things that we liked most out of that People's Choice, because it was like anything goes as long as it had steak. It's not like everybody was just turning in straight steak. There were some really interesting dishes there.
Yeah. No, so I think my top two would have easily been Phil and Carmen, LC Barbecue's street tacos, and then, of course, the one that we picked, which was the Korean steak, right?
Right.
And it had the pickled red onions, it had some cucumbers, it had just some Korean flavor in there, and man, it was just incredible. They had the bao buns for it. They ran out, but it was still just so good. And honestly, I had in my head thought I was going to go back and give Phil our ticket, but man, that bite was just too good. I had to give it to them. But, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. It was 35 of the best pit masters in the world. How many of them do you think were bad? 0. None of them were bad. 0 of them were bad. Now, there was a couple of people that cooked their steak better than others. Like whoever made the pinwheel, I can't remember.
Something in Shiggin and Grinnin.
Shiggin and Grinnin. whoever made the pinwheel, chicken and grinning, that was the best steak of the day.
For sure.
It was like so tender, so bite through, so flavorful. It was incredible. But the Korean, and that would have been my third. That would have been my third, right? If I had to give it a top three. But, you know, also like Sweeties, they had an incredible dish as well. He had, like you can even,
wonton.
Yeah, you can even see it in the video. Like it crunched. So it was so good. The texture was amazing. So Sweeties had a great, you know, and then, you know, Heath Riles, Deuce Raymond, and Richard Fagola, they were together. They teamed up, and they made the chimichurri steak bite, which was also incredible as well. Everything was so good. It was really, really cool. You know, we met some people that have been following along with us for a little bit. Shout out Verl Green. And then, you know, we also met another competitor, which, you know, won't say his name, but he was like, man, dude, I watched so many of your videos and really appreciate it. I love the competition content, and, you know, it's helpful and all that stuff. And, you know, those things are really, really cool to see. And then, you know, we came back around and we saw some people from Fort Worth, Limp Brisket. And, you know, I've talked to them before. I've been on a show with them before. And it's just really cool to see people that know what you're doing and they followed along, whether it be a lot or a little bit, and they recognize you for what you've done in their sport. It's just incredible. Now, the one person that I was very, very happy to meet, and I've been wanting to meet him for a long time, is Drew Davis, Razor Racks. And I don't know why I've wanted to meet him. I've just been from afar. I've watched what he's done. In a very, very short amount of time, barbecuing at a young age, he's dominant, and he can go in any contest. And I do love, even though we don't do as much competition barbecue, I still love it. I still follow along. I still know who's dominant. And I always looked at him as one of the best cooks in the world. So when I saw him, I was really, really happy to meet him. And I got to try his chicken leg and his rib. Both were phenomenal. His chicken was so good, I literally came home and I told Sabrina, we got to make some changes to our sauce because his was so good. I just got to, you know, we tasted a few things in there that we thought we tasted. And so we made some adjustments based off of that. And, man, it was just great to meet Drew. Razor Racks, shout out. I believe he got an 8th place overall or a 6th place overall, one of the two. A great cook. And I was just really, really happy to meet him for sure.
Yeah, you know, as far as the People's Choice, it's really interesting concept because you have steak and I have a lot of turmoil about this in my head is like, okay, it's steak. Which one presented the steak best? But then you have dishes that were just overall, maybe the steak wasn't the front runner, but they were all really, really good, right? Definitely the pinwheel stood out to me as a really perfectly cooked steak. I really enjoyed that one. And yeah, the Phil's tacos were really, really good, outstanding, just overall really good flavor. And not just Phil, Carmen too. I mean, they both team up and they're a great team and they put out a good taco. But yeah, something about that Korean, I think because when we walked in, you know, we followed this big line throughout the parking lot. So by the time we got to the end of it, that's when we had those Korean steak bowls. And it was just so refreshing after eating so much steak or hot foods. It was really nice and refreshing. And the steak was really cooked well. So I really enjoyed that. Razor Racks chicken was very good. So good that our son was telling us that it was better than ours, which nobody wants to hear, but I mean, that's high praise, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he really enjoyed that. But as far as the competition side, man, I'll tell you what, competing over in Georgia that time of year, beautiful weather. I mean, it was nice and quiet. The trees were there. Everybody's just doing their stuff. I feel like Texas is so chaotic because it gets so hot. So it was really fun to go over there and walk around on Saturday while everybody was competing. But we didn't really get to stay for the awards portion of it. But we tried to stay as long as we could. We did want to kind of leave as early as we could to start the drive. But the kids got to do a lot of stuff on Saturday. They got the balloon animals. They got the face paint. They got the frozen custard. So it was really cool that even though with all that stuff going on, Royal Oak still had a lot of different things for the kids to do, which, you know, we bring them everywhere we go for the most part. So for them to be able to enjoy the experience just as much was really, really cool.
Yeah, and you kind of hit on what I was about to talk about earlier. So we left Thursday. We drove Thursday, stayed in a hotel, left Friday. From that hotel, got to Roswell, Georgia, went to the Royal Oak Invitational, stayed the night there. Saturday, we woke up. So we've already driven Thursday and Friday. Saturday, we went to the Royal Oak Invitational all day long. We literally left right before awards, and we decided, you know what, let's just start going back home. Drove on Saturday, so now we've driven Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, right? And then Sunday, we drove 12 hours straight, which ended up being 14?
Oh, yeah, because Louisiana, first of all, on Thursday, driving through Louisiana and Sunday, driving through Louisiana are the worst things ever. I enjoy driving, but when you hit a stop and you cannot move, or if you're driving through, on the way back on Sunday, we drove through absolutely nothing. So, we waited to eat because breakfast is kind of hard with the kids, especially on a Sunday, right? And you've passed up all donuts. Everybody's sick of donuts. So we're like, oh, we'll just pick something up for lunch. And we get to around lunchtime and we start hitting all these back roads because of detours. And 5 hours later, then we were finally able to eat. That's torture for me. I'll drive for forever, but I don't want to drive through nowhere and going slow.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. So we drove every single day from Thursday through Sunday, got home, finally got to relax and do everything. But, man, it was just a long trip. It was a difficult trip. And, man, by the end of it, my sciatic, my back, everything was killing me pretty good, to be honest.
And then we had to get ready for a competition.
And then we had to get ready to go to a competition on Saturday. So this past Saturday, we competed in Ingleside, Texas at the Battlin BBQ contest. It's a CVA contest put on by Brian Yoder, a good buddy of mine. Have to support it every single year. It's for children fighting cancer, and it's just a great event. $7,500. No one's ever complaining about that. It's a great venue, and we wanted to go out there and we wanted to do as good as we possibly could and just try and make some noise. This is when the work week from heck started for me.
Yeah.
Right? So I got back to work, worked what was it that first day I just worked maybe 4 hours overtime, and then the next day I worked till 10. And we're just, we're adding fiber to it's oh my gosh. So we worked late every single day.
And you worked on Friday, which
and
is the day
I
we
worked
go to
on
set
Friday,
up.
which is the day that we're supposed to go set up. So it just made for a really, really difficult week. No exaggeration. Sabrina picked up my pork, ribs, and chicken, and none of them were touched until Friday night. And there was a point when Sabrina walked in, and she's like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Man, you can even ask her." I straight up looked at her in the face, and I was like, "Man, I don't want to be here."
Yeah.
I didn't even want to be at the contest. I felt so overwhelmed. I felt so tired. I was exhausted. I was like, "Man, I don't want to be here." And she was just like, "It's going to be okay. Do you want me to trim the meat?" She asked me. I was like, "Nah, it's cool. It's good. I'll be all right." So we ended up trimming the meats. We ended up injecting the meats, and then we went to bed. I went to bed. I was like, "Man, I'm tired. I ain't doing this. I'm not going to stay up and hang out with everybody till 2 a.m. like I would a lot of the times." But we went to bed and then got some decent sleep. Not great sleep, but decent sleep. Decent enough to where I woke up and I was like, "All right, you know what? Let's do this."
Well, shoot. So the goal was to get up at, for you, 5, but I like to get up a little bit earlier because we were filming this time around. So I wanted to get cameras ready, get everything ready outside. And our son had woken up at before 4:30.
Yeah.
And this dude just, but here's the thing. When you go to competitions where there's, external lighting, it's a good thing, right? Because then you don't have to bring all this lighting. But the bad thing about it is all those bright lights are shining through the windows. So he could not sleep.
Yeah.
And he's like,
we need to get some covers for the windows for sure.
But he's talk whispering. And so he's waking everybody up. So all the kids were up around 5 o'clock, which in a way was good because then we can clean up earlier because we had some, kind of bad weather. So there was supposed to be a storm coming around I think 7 o'clock that morning. And so we're there, it's dark, and we decide, okay, let's me and you set up this canopy because we don't want it to rain. Now, how big is that canopy?
How big was it?
How big was it?
10 by 20.
A 10 by 20 that you and I are putting up by ourselves, which usually it's just me, you, and your dad putting up.
I'll tell you what, though. Quite literally, There was no wind. There was no nothing. It was easy. It was easy. I quite literally, I know I've said the word literally a lot this past couple of sentences. I quite literally had the hook from the strap in the actual
cement bucket.
Yeah, in the actual cement bucket, ready to start strapping, right? Like all I had to do was start cranking it. Within that 1 millisecond, the wind just came in, blew the canopy over.
Yeah, because so you were on one corner and I was on the opposite corner. So this corner over here flew up, and now Kevin is parked next to us, and we're making like a 90-degree angle with his trailer and our trailer.
Yeah.
So that corner flies up and hits his trailer.
It hits his trailer.
We're literally holding it, trying to pull it down.
I'm putting my whole body weight, so is Sabrina, to hold this thing down. Someone from next to us, behind us, our neighbor, came and he's helping us. Kevin comes out like, what the hell's going on out here?
He's like, what are y'all noise
like,
y'all making?
doing? And so he's helping us. And then we're over there. You're like, literally, Lino comes.
Yeah.
We're cutting I'm trying to like cut the actual tent part off the canopy so the wind is being caught on that part, right? It's like parachuting. So we're like, oh my gosh, this is bad. I'm like, please we do not need to let it hit Kevin's stuff. I'm not trying to, I definitely am worrying about the money, right? But like, I'm not worried about the money. I just don't want to ruin his stuff for his cook, right? Like, I don't want something to happen and it's like, oh dude,
his truck was right there. We didn't want it to fly over and hit his truck or anything.
Yeah, and so, we would have paid for any damages that happened, obviously, but like I just didn't want to put anyone in inconvenience. So we're like, oh my gosh, we're freaking out. And it's like, dude, this is insane. We finally get the tent part off of the canopy. We get it down. There's like multiple parts of this thing just snapped, completely snapped. Like we couldn't really push it back together because there were so many pieces that were snapped. And it ended up just it was a rowdy start to the day.
Well, and it's crazy too, because when you're putting up a canopy, there's nothing really dangerous about it, right? But when wind gets a hold of that, so we unclicked the thing so we could try and pull it down. My fingers got stuck. Lino's over there helping me pry it. Then his fingers got stuck. Yeah. So you don't really realize how dangerous those things can actually be.
I still have some cuts on my fingers from where mine got stuck, and it was just a bad moment, a bad start to the day. We're like,
meanwhile, our kids are all awake. They're like watching us playing with sword fighting, having the time of their lives.
Yeah, and I literally told them, I was like, y'all stay way over there. Like this can be bad. Y'all stay way the hell over there. And we ended up getting through it. Obviously, we ended up, the cook was already started at that point. And, I felt like it was a good, not great cook. It was a good, not great cook. And I'll tell you why. Just because, like, man, I'm telling you, I still was kind of in that, like, I'm really exhausted mood. And even though I came and I woke up, and I was like, okay, I felt a little bit better. I was still pretty tired. There is zero excuse. Okay. We placed what we placed because that's what we did. There's zero excuse. I was just tired. I was just tired. I was out of it. But I will say that I did not feel like it was as strong of a cook as we've been having, but I still felt like it was good.
But that's the not necessarily unfortunate thing, but that's just the weird thing about competing in general is like we had several cooks in a row where I'm like, these are our strongest cooks ever, and we don't really get the results from it.
Yeah.
But then you have a cook where it's like everything could be going wrong and you could do well, or you could not enjoy what you put out. Not that we didn't, but I'm just saying you could taste something and be like, this isn't as good as it was last week, and it could do well, right? So starting with our chicken, though, I really, really loved our chicken. I mean, I thought that was some of the best chicken that we had put out.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And we ended up with an 11th chicken, so it really wasn't far off, but we still, unfortunately, did not get a walk with chicken. And, we made some changes to our sauce because of Drew Davis. Shout out Razor Racks.
Yeah.
And I think that they're very successful changes, and we will continue to do that for sure. I think the only thing is just, we just barely missed the mark somehow. I don't think that we missed it by much, obviously, but, it is what it is. Now, and the one thing is that I did really feel good about the ribs from the get-go. So shout out to Boari, Nathan from Boari, the owner of Boari. He picked out some ribs for us, some Prairie Fresh ribs, and he got them ready for us, and we took them over to the competition. Like I said, I didn't trim anything, but that Friday when I was trimming them up, I was like, okay, look, These are good. And I told Sabrina, I was like, we can do some with these for sure. Nice marbling, nice thickness. And I just knew if I did my thing, they were going to be really good. So we went ahead and we injected them. We did our whole process. And the whole time they looked amazing. I was in love with the color of them the whole time. And I just knew that they were going to hit. I did tell you, I was like, these are going to walk, and they're going to walk high. You can just kind of tell sometimes. That rib was way too good for it not to walk that high. I know what good ribs taste like. Well, I know what our good ribs taste like. Even though I've felt like that lately a lot, I do feel like these were a little bit better than what we've been putting out. And so we ended up with a 3rd place rib. So at this point, we don't know what we got in chicken. We ended up with an 11th. And then we got a 3rd place rib. I think we're in a decent spot here. So pork, it was a standard cook. I don't feel like anything went wrong with pork at all. I feel like our pulled pork was very, very, very good. I feel like the money mussels were very, very, very good. And I was just very happy with the cook overall. That being said, we ended up getting an 8th place pork. And okay, we're still doing okay here. Now, the one I wouldn't even say that got away, but kind of got away was brisket. And it really was brisket. So I was outside and I was talking to a coworker and I lost track of time. I will openly admit it. I lost track of time. I'm not trying to be rude to anybody, but I left us with very, very, very little time to do brisket. So we did not get to do our full finish on brisket. Again, there is zero excuse. This is 100% my fault. But I did still think that brisket was very, very good. But we just didn't get to finish it the way we normally do. So we ended up with a no-call brisket. I think it ended up
14th or something like that.
14th overall. 14th place, and that gave us 10th overall. That being said, that cook-off was 30 teams, 30 very good teams. For what it was, I was actually really happy with that. And I told you that after, there's a lot of times when Sabrina and I go home, we're disappointed, whatever. And I felt really good about this because, you have your Carl Davises, your Stephen Ohlers, your Fred Robleses, you have your Grady Speeds, you have Cesar Mejia, you have a bunch of great cooks. I just named 5 real quickly. Kevin Hernandez. I'll even throw us in there, right? That's 7 right there. Great cooks that can win the contest easily. Rini Sanchez is there. That's 8. Chopping block is there. John Turner, that's 9. So already we have a bunch of great cooks. I promise you, any of us could have won. 100%. So you have all these dang good cooks, and it's just not easy. Everybody knows what they're doing. You can make great food, and it's just you land on the wrong table, or, it just kind of is what it is. So I was really, I don't want to say I was ecstatic, but I was satisfied with a 10th overall, especially in a contest with that many great teams.
Yeah, I'm definitely not disappointed by how we did. You think about just the traveling. We hadn't competed since September. And we're only sticking to one a month. So without competing very often, and then just from a whole busy month of traveling, and then you working late, to get a couple calls, a couple good walks, and to still place overall are really good. And not only that, but we finally got a video out. This video won't post until next week, but, and that's because on Friday night, like you said, you were exhausted. So we didn't really get footage of injecting. And kind of at that point, knowing me, I would have suggested let's not worry about filming. But we still got up and we filmed. And even though we had a lot going on with the canopy, we had bought mounts to try and make it easier to film. And those didn't really work out. We still pushed it and we went out there and we filmed as much information as we could.
For sure.
And then even at awards, it started raining, right? So we're still out there trying to get as much footage as we can to put together a full video. So I'm really happy about that. I do like our competition content. I know there's a lot of people out there who do like it. It kind of, as you said earlier, it's nostalgic for us to go back and look at these memories, right? So I'm still happy about that. I don't know when our next competition will be. We got a lot going on.
Yeah.
As you said, we want to post a turkey video every single day up until Thanksgiving once November starts. So, I see it as an overall successful weekend.
No, I 100% agree. And like Sabrina said, this video is going to be coming out on Wednesday of next week. So if you're listening to this on Friday, Wednesday of next week, this video will drop. We'll make sure to get as many competition videos as we can moving forward. You know, one of the things that's really hard as a creator is you get stuck in this mode where you're kind of like, man, I have to make briskets, ribs, chickens, turkey breasts because that's what my viewers want to see. That's all they want to see. Those videos get the best views, and that's what makes more sense for us. But I really think, and I was kind of thinking about this the other day, I really think I want to I don't want to say get away from that, but I want to film like real life things that we're doing, that I'm doing. You know, I messaged Sabrina a recipe the other day that I want to try for a barbecue sauce. So in my brain, I'm also thinking like, man, why don't we film like day one? Like, all right, day one of us trying to make this barbecue sauce here in the kitchen, mix it up. Ooh, that's amazing. Or, ooh, we missed the mark, you know? And kind of like man, this is the process that it takes us to put a product on the market and show you guys that these things are going to start in our kitchen, right? And, you know, like, for example, we've talked about it. You know, we have literally sat there, and there's video evidence. We're drying out the lemon zest and the orange zest and the lime zest and mixing these things. So when we come out with a citrus pepper, it shouldn't be too big of a surprise, right? We did the things with the glazes, so it shouldn't be too much of a surprise. I went back and I reposted that video the other day, and I said, this is really cool to look back on, those memories, because now we do have a steak rub or a garlic and herb rub, which is what we're going to call it, that we can bring to the market. But we started that last year. We were mixing it last year and tasting it and stuff. And, you know, now we've got a professional co-packer that's helping us out with these things. But, like, these things literally started with us. And that's just great to be able to show people, because there's a lot of people that don't know what goes into these things. Or like when we do our turkey breast demo here, man, I really would like to film it. I know you help a lot, but man, I really would like to film that whole thing with a mic and just get some footage of what we're doing. We're trying to grow this business. We're trying to grow this brand. There might not be very many people that want to see that, but it's our channel at the end of the day. It really truly is. We make our channel the way we want it to be. And people are either going to love it or they're not. They're going to love us as a brand or they're not. And with short form, we could really focus on recipes with short form, especially because we've gotten a lot stronger at short form. I think that can be a lot recipe focused. And then our channel, our main videos can really be recipes. They can be tips and tricks. They can be lifestyle. They can be product development. It can be whatever we want. At the end of the day, yes, the goal is to make this business gigantic, enormous, whatever word you want to say. But it still is our channel. It still has to be fun. It still has to be something that we enjoy doing. And I really don't like getting stuck in that, like, oh, well, people want to see brisket. Let's go get a brisket. How can we cook it now? We've done offset. We've done kettle. We've done Weber Smoky Mountain. We've done drum. Well, let's do a pellet grill one. Oh, man, people are going to talk crap because a lot of people don't like pellet grills. You know, it's like, it is hard.
Well, and I think that's why you see a lot of content creators once they reach a certain point, and this is just for, you know, anybody out there who's curious, or if you're getting into content, you might hit this kind of plateau as well. But you see a lot of content creators that once they reach a certain threshold, it's like, yeah, that's people only want to see the same things from them, and you start to see them branching out into not their typical content. But like you said, the good thing about short form, because, for example, you know, when we do Thanksgiving videos years prior, and they're good videos, those are videos we really loved, but they don't perform well. But short form gives us the ability to put out different content that isn't necessarily your typical classic barbecue items, and they can still perform well.
Sure.
So yeah, I don't want to get away from doing the competition videos or the vlog style videos, because it is it's a creative process for us that we don't really get to do with a typical recipe video. And, the more we get into this, the more we really enjoy just the process of filmmaking, right?
For sure.
So,
And I love that you said that, because that is part of what makes this fun.
right.
Film making, producing something, saying this is what we want to do, and then watching it come to life. There was a specific moment in the video that I loved so much. It was right in the end, and it was when the kids were throwing the leaves in the air.
Yeah.
Right? And it was slow-mo, and it was just like the music and everything just came together so well. And it's just, I tell people all the time, I post it on Facebook as much as I can. You've never asked. You don't care. I mean, I know you care, but like you're not like me in that sense, where I'm real like open on Facebook, I guess, right? Like I love to show my kids. That's why I'm really, it's not even that I don't want to add people on Facebook. It's just like I show my kids. I talk about my wife. I talk about my mom and my dad. Like it's a very personal space for me, right? But I do love seeing these things from the kids and like seeing these moments and being able to share these moments with people as well, because those moments are so special. Like truly they are so special. But Sabrina has, in my opinion, like Sabrina could go get a job doing filmmaking and like make a lot more money than we make with Gulf Coast Smoke. But the loyalty that she has to our family, not even just me, to our family, is incredible, because I promise you, like the way she makes videos, there are not very many people that I've watched on YouTube, I'm being genuine, that make them as good as her. I felt like back in the day, our videos were okay whenever I would make them, but like you can't even ask her, dude, I would be done with the video in like 3 hours. Like it was just like, I'm like, oh, I got to go to bed. I got to work in the morning.
Which I did one the other day like that in the middle of the night. And
yeah.
we were both like, is this going to be rushed? And it was fine.
Yeah,
but
I
think it's because I was working in the dead of night with no kids asking you for stuff.
For sure. But, it's just, I really want people to, I love producing. I love, figuring things out. I love doing the voiceovers. Like Sabrina and the kids will literally be here with me. And I actually pride myself on like, I have Sabrina to attest for it. I'm not using ChatGPT or AI or anything for these scripts. I literally write these scripts on my own. And then I say them and I'm like, yeah, they didn't sound right? And you're like, no, let's try using this word instead of this word, or this word instead of that, or up the energy here, bring it down here. Like we're literally creating film, video, and it's just, everything about it is so much fun. And so that's why I want to, the short form content is going to stay the same. Recipes, cool things here and there. Me stealing sauce from Fred's trailer. I was actually surprised nobody was like, that's messed up, right?
I know.
It's like, okay, first and foremost, it was Fred's idea. Okay.
Yeah, shout out Fred.
Shout out Fred. Great idea on that video. It was Fred's idea, and they're all planned, guys. They're planned, okay? If I ever break into someone's trailer and steal something, or if I steal a recipe, or if I'm shaking off of them,
there won't be video evidence.
It is literally planned when I do these things and I post them on the internet.
Right.
Like the very first one with Bill ever, like
people were enraged.
No. I got to give it to Bill though. He jumped, like he looked scared. It was like it was real. We talked about it for like 10 minutes. Like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to come in and I'm going to do this. We're going to talk about this. Okay. And then we did the video, and then people were like, that's like, I can't believe you broke into his trailer. I'm like, bro, it was planned. But either way, it's all good. We had a great weekend with Royal Oak. Shout out to them. And just thank you so much for the hospitality that you showed myself and my family. It means the world to us. And then, of course, we did our competition in Ingleside. We're okay with the results. We'll do another competition soon-ish, and we'll film it to the best of our ability. What else did you need to talk about today? Or is that it?
I think that might be it. I mean, if you're listening to this on Friday, all you trick-or-treaters out there, happy Halloween, and be safe out there. Yeah,
I plan on doing, I'm probably going to post it on the Gulf Coast Smoke page too, a little, I don't know about video, but maybe like pictures of what we're going to be. We haven't talked about it, have we?
No.
We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, we have a whole family thing planned.
Yeah, we have a whole family thing planned. I hope it's going to be dope. Man, like when my son told me he wanted to be this one character, again, you can even ask Sabrina, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to wear a tank top. Like, and that dude's yoked. I'm not yoked. Dude, I have been dieting so hard to lose as much weight as I can. And I've been dieting for a while, but yeah, I still got a long ways to go, but it is what it is. But I've been dieting so hard to try and lose as much weight as I can before Halloween. And I'm so nervous to put on a tank top and have it, but it'll be okay. It's motivation to move forward to next year. And if my son needs me to be anything where, I have a tank top on, I'll look a little bit better. I promise you, I'm going to look better by next year. But we really are excited to do some Halloween stuff together. And then, of course, we're gonna bust tail this weekend. We're going to go eat barbecue at Tuttle's, which is going to be great. I'm going to go pick up some turkey breasts. We're going to cook 4 turkey breasts on Sunday. We're going to do something on Saturday. It's just going to be a really, really good weekend, God willing. So if Sabrina has nothing else, I have nothing else. I'm going to take this moment to tell you guys, if you are watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel. It is completely free, and it helps us out tremendously. We want to reach 100,000 subscribers, and you guys can help us out with that. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platform, man, share this with a friend. Maybe they will enjoy us talking about our Halloween costumes, competition barbecue, finding your reason, or whatever else we talk about. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.